Hello all, my name is Piotr and I build Ru guitars. It's getting ridiculously hot in here, but holiday's over, need to get back to it. So, I think I will focus on the neck for now. There are some things that need to happen. I need to install the truss rod properly, sand it a bit so that I can attach the fretboard, and I will drill locating pins so that I can work on the end to properly install the spoke wheel. I will need to cut out the notch in the end of the fretboard for the adjuster to go in, and it will be much easier when the fretboard is properly located and not moving around, so I will do that. I will route it flush with the neck once it's glued on. I don't want to have it loose on the router table. And yeah, we'll see what else. That's the spoke wheel, that's the truss rod. I've sprayed the end with black paint because it was damaged just a tiny bit and I want it to look good. So that can go. Okay, so this is the one place that the truss rod is sticking out a bit. Yeah, that will need to be sorted. Other than this, I don't need to do it now. I can focus on preparing the fretboard. I have the nut line marked here on the fretboard and also on the neck blank. That's the nut line. I'll transfer it to the side so I can see it when I locate the fretboard. And now when I clamp it to the neck blank, I will be able to see the nut line on the side. Okay, I need a center line on this end to align this side properly. I have a center line here on the masking tape and on the fretboard, so this side can be done easily, but this side needs a center line. I'll mark it here, and then I take a long ruler and extend it to the very end so I can see it from underneath. This is just one layer of masking tape, so it's not very strong, very stiff, but this should do just fine. Okay, and now when I place the fretboard, that center line is coming through the masking tape and it's allowing me to align it with the center line marked on the side of the fretboard. I've drawn the end of the neck on the underside as well, just to help me visualize it better. I will clamp it temporarily in place. Oh, come on. see. End of the neck, center line. There. And now I can compare this side. So this side is not aligned yet. That's the center line. The nut line is okay. Center line is perfect now. Again. Center line is aligned. Nut line is aligned. And this side, center line is almost aligned. Yep. Okay, now it is. What I can do now is use smaller clamps that will allow me to actually maneuver that better. I need to be able to drill from the fretboard side, so I will use those clamps like this. Okay, and just to make sure that everything is still aligned, this is the center line is perfect, nut line is perfect, and the center line at the back also aligned. That's great. Looking at the surface here where I cut it on this cross saw, you may be able to see it. There is a little ledge in a couple places, in 3 places actually, where I went in too far beyond the neck. This is okay though, because this neck will have binding cut into it, so 1.5 mil from the edge into the neck will be routed out, and the neck will be used as a template, so that's not a problem at all. This side though, well, it's not a problem as well, but quite a lot of meat was left here, so I'm gonna have to go very slow on this to avoid any tear out. But yeah, so this is clamped. I'll use another clamp, one more clamp, just to stabilize it better, and then I will drill locating pins. Perfect. I will use the same technique as I used for drilling locating pins on the top. I will use these skewers, and one pin will be right in the nut slot, and the other one will be somewhere here at the end of the fretboard. I may even use 2 on this side, but they can go anywhere outside of this really, as long as it's not hitting the binding, or where the binding is supposed to be. Because even if I go deep, this part of the neck is not being carved, it stays as is, so I can go a little bit more to the outside. The nut slot, I like to hide this locating pin there because it's invisible. When you put it through the fret, like I will have to do on the heel side, there's a risk it will be visible with the fret in, and you need to color it or hide it somehow. Using nut slot for that, you don't need to do anything. So this skewer is 2.5 mils. I'll try 2 millimeters on a scrap wood, and if that is too tight, I'll use 2.5 mil. I want it tight though, because I don't want any movement in the fretboard. Okay, this is very tight. Let's see, 2.5 mil. I think this will be perfect. Okay, let's start with the heel side. I'll do one side first, and when I do both sides I'll decide if I need to do the other side as well. I may not, but let's see. Right, so this should be pretty straightforward. I can't go through the last thread because it's almost hanging off the neck. But I can go through the 21st thread fine. I'll do that. I'll do the pilot hole with 1.5 mil, just because the fretboard is quite hard and I don't want to have any issues. Okay, what I'm going to do is mark the depth that I want to go to, so that I'm not drilling through the neck for no reason. I don't need to go very deep. I'll do like 5 mil into the neck. Beautiful. Very good. Very good. I can cut it off now. Doesn't need to be flush for now. This side is done. It's very snug. I like it very much. Let's do the headstock side. And I'll do the opposite of the centerline. So, and anywhere along the nut I can drill, because there's no truss rod underneath. I'm going to go pretty close to the center, like so. And I'm going to do the same thing, go with 1.5 first, and then 2.5 to the correct depth. I really don't want to go all the way through the neck here, because that would be suboptimal, especially in a place like this when you can actually see the hole on the other side. That would be just bad. I'm not sure how good you can see there, but this wood seems to be very brittle. Where I had the nut line cut in with the scalper blade, the drill actually ripped the top layer of the wood right up to the line. So good to know for the future. Goes in like so. Ah, nice, very nice. Cut it off. And the fretboard is located now. Right, I think that's very good. I can take it off if I want to, and I will be taking it off several times. That's why I wanted it tight, because each time I'll take it off it will get a little bit looser, but that shouldn't be a problem. So now I can take care of this end and mark everything correctly to cut and slice it off with a saw. I will be cutting it by hand. I think this will give me more control over the cut. But what I need to measure now is where the cut line needs to be. So the spoke wheel will be located at the very end, but we're going to have 1.5 millimeters of binding at the end of the fretboard. So that's the end of the neck, marked on the underside of the fretboard. This is 5.5. I'm going to allow 6 mil with the distance it will stick out of the neck. So 6 mil, but minus 1.5 for the binding thickness. So it's 4.5 mil. So this is 4.5 on this end, and 4.5 on this end. Okay, I may want to take the fretboard off for that because I need to reference the center line to mark it absolutely perfectly. Let's take it off. I don't want to snap the pin. Okay, there you go. To extend the center line. And now I can precisely draw the line. So that's the end of the fretboard. So I'm looking to put the spot wheel here and still have 1.5 millimeters left for the binding. That is perfect. Now let's cut it off first, and then I will mark the notch, the size of the cutouts that I need to do at the end of the fretboard, but that will come later. Let's cut it off first. And to do that, I will mark this line with this copper blade, so they have a proper reference line. Several light passes are always better than one deep one because the scalpel blade tends to run around if you press it. Right, let's measure it again. That's perfect. I'll put it back on just to measure it yet again, because once I cut it off I can't put it back on. Right, that is perfect. Let's slice it off with a saw. I want to clamp this fretboard to the bench so that it doesn't move on me. It'll be sticking out the wood, and that way I don't have to hold it in place. I'm not pressing the saw at all. I don't want it to dig into the wood, especially here at the end when I want it to cleanly go through without just ripping, grain up the last fret. I could actually score the line on top between the two at the end where it needs to come through. I'm gonna do that. Now this should be fine. Okay. Right, this looks great. Right, so it seems like it is slightly oversized, which is better than undersized. I can file it down to the size that I need. I won't be able to add anything to to it if it was too small. So yeah, I'm happy. Here's the pin, and there it is. 5.5 mils. Yeah, on both sides. So I have 1 millimeter to adjust. And when I take the spoke wheel, okay, this will need to be adjusted because it's just too long. I thought I can just poke the spoke wheel out a bit more and leave it as is, but it's not straight, so it needs to be filed down anyway. And I think it will be best to adjust it to the correct size. I don't have sander, which I would adjust the angle and just put it against the disc. I haven't got one. I'm gonna have to do it by hand using files. I'll clamp it in place so it doesn't move on me, and I can focus on getting it straight, not holding it in place. Okay, let's see. Not sure if anything is happening. Okay, getting there slowly. I'm using this 2x4 or 1x2 as a straight edge basically. It's square. Well, I probably should check if it is square. It seems square. Well, yeah, this side is. Yeah, this side is square, so I'll use it to rest the file against, so I don't have to keep it straight vertically. I can focus on taking even passes across. I am taking some material off. I get the dust, so I don't want to overshoot it, otherwise I'll end up with the spoke wheel sticking out the fretboard, which is not going to look good. This is a lovely surface now from the file. There are some saw marks here, and I think I'll keep going until they're gone, because they shouldn't be there, and that should be the right size when they're gone. Just to make sure, I will put it back on the neck again and measure it again. Okay, so I'm just over 5 mil on both sides equally, which is always good. So I still have 0.5 mil to take off, and that's going to take those marks. So this idea works. It's almost like shooting board for planing, but yeah, not quite. Okay, I think I'm close, but not quite there. Okay, so I decided not to go all the way to the correct size for now, because I still need to sand the neck. this surface, and this one. So this size will change, so I may end up having to go in even deeper than that. But this method seems to work. This looks nice and square. I'm very happy with the shape of it at least. So yeah, I think I'll sand it first, and then I'll continue sizing it up properly.